This is one thing that used to bother me back in 2024 and 2025. See, Islam talks about so many things, and don't get me wrong, I'm not against Islam. I'm a Muslim, but just back then, Islam talks about, for example, like make dua to ease the pain, and while people like entrepreneurs, they talk about you're not supposed to ask for it to be easy, you're supposed to ask for stuff to be better, and it's just I'm like just comparing these two things, and certain things Islam talks about like balance. Islam talks about like being humble and also forgiving all your life. It's just I started to think like, does Islam really teach mediocrity? And for about 2 years I've been struggling with this problem because I have ambitious goals. It's just that whenever I listen to a lecture or the people start talking about, okay, give your family the due right, do this, do that, do this, do that, I was like, wait, does Islam talk about mediocrity? And after 2 years, I was able to finally understand, okay, the word balance and mediocrity are not the same. Islam teaches balance, not mediocrity. Balance is different, mediocrity is different. What are these two things? You can also say, like, it's in the middle, you can say. Balance is moderation, is doing things with boundaries. Mediocrity is like laziness without any boundaries. Let's just give an example. For example, let's just give an example. To further understand this point, we need to understand what Islam is made of. Islam is made up of three things: ibadah, aqidah, and akhlaq. You as a Muslim need to fulfill all three of them. So ibadah, which is the worship, and worship, as the scholars say, that anything done for the sake of Allah can be worship. So for example, even this work, I'm doing this work and I'm doing it for the sake of Allah, inshallah, and it's just for the sake of Allah. And even working, this can be this work I'm recording content, it can be for the sake of Allah, so it can be a form of ibadah. And there's also aqidah, which is the beliefs. A person have the belief, and we also have the aqidah, which is the belief, and the third, which is akhlaq, which is character. I would say, like you can do all the family ties, and there's many things fall under this category. So you as a Muslim, you need to feel all three. That feeling all three is what's balance. Okay, you need to understand. Like, for example, when you're working in a business and you neglect, for example, you get bad character, you neglect your aqidah, you neglect everything. This is what Islam forbid. But for example, when you go extreme on your work, when you go like when you really work extreme and also fulfill all these things, you have time for your family and you also work with excellence. Islam encourages that. There's a verse, هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. Excellence, the word used is ihsan, excellence. The reward for excellence is excellence. Okay? هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. As a Muslim, you need to do anything you need to do with excellence. Okay, that is why I try all I can to give you the best quality videos, the best advice possible. Even if it hurts me, even if I have a headache, I'll try as much as I can to produce content with excellence. And that's what Islam teaches. When you look at the life of the Prophet ﷺ, he does talk about, for example, there are some Sahabas that were trying to do the Qur'an, like complete the Qur'an every day, and some people trying to stay up all night for the Qur'an. The Prophet ﷺ did, in fact, stop them. He told them that they should not complete the Quran in under 3 days. What is he talking about? When you say you're going to complete the Quran in every single day, you start to neglect those through aqidah and akhlaq. Okay? But when you fulfill all these things, nobody will care about it. In fact, you're supposed to do. The Prophet ﷺ would pray till his feet will swell. Now Aisha said in the hadith that the Prophet ﷺ would be in worship till his feet will swell. Imagine that. I want you to imagine like all the days like in Tahajjud, like you're just so exhausted or whatever. I want you to imagine if you lead Salah, like I've been leading Salah for about 2 years now. If you lead Salah, you understand that the Imam or the person reciting will not feel as much pain as the audience or as the people behind him. And you can imagine the Prophet ﷺ, he was the one leading the Salah till his feet would swell. Imagine how long this is. There's a funny story, like in Arafah, I was like every single year in our day of Arafah, I isolate myself from every single one. I don't even allow them to even know the location I'm in. So I'll just sit down. Sometimes I'll get like a tally counter. Sometimes I'll get like this just be, and I will sit down. This year actually, I sat down in this like sitting position in Salah. I was doing the adhikar and everything, and it was time for me to make a dua. I raised my hands up and I was sitting there like I was just making so many du'as. I was just making du'as, making dua. My feet starting to hurt like a lot, and I had to. I have like this. It's not a must, but it's just my own personal opinion. I'm just trying to discipline myself because I think there was I heard it somewhere that the Prophet ﷺ during Arafah he would raise his hand up, making the until the sun will fall. I think it was in I think it was this last Arafah. I don't know. So I tried that. My hands was up. My feet was so sore. I had to just relax the feet a little bit like this. I said sometime I'll come back. Like you can imagine the Prophet ﷺ till his feet will swell. In this day, what will you call this? Is this balance? Is this mediocrity? Of course not. But why is the Prophet ﷺ that is teaching us balance, the same person also doing these things, is because he fulfilled all the rest of the things. Okay, he fulfilled his aqidah, he fulfilled his akhlaq. That is why he was able to go extreme on his tahajjud. And that is why I'm trying to teach you this video. And if you found this video helpful, thank you for being here. I have a goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers this year, and you can help with that by clicking the subscribe button. And other than that, I would like to end with the humble quotes. Too much attention makes a monkey think he's a lion. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.